This is a Z89 exclusive interview.
Welcome back to A Brief Intermission, the show where you can take a brief intermission from your day and get front row delivery of all of the backstage theater news right here in Central New York. For the first show of 2026, I'm Isabella Galan. I am so excited to be joined this week by two actors from the Red House Art Center's upcoming production of MFers with the Hat, a play that will be taking place from February 11th all the way through February 15th. Please welcome to your party station Z89, Andrea Torres and Bianca Hallett. Thank you guys so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
We are so excited to break this down, but first I want to get to know you guys a little bit more. So you just tell me a little bit about yourselves and your theater backgrounds.
So I'm Bianca Hallett. I have been in theater for almost 2 decades, but I think this last decade I've done a good amount. I just did Red House's Sound of Music last year, and then I did Baldwinville Theater Guild's Rent this past year, and then took a little bit of time off to have my last kid. And now
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Andrea Torres. This will be my theater debut ever. So,
oh my God, that's awesome. Congratulations to you as well.
Thank you. I'm a dancer by trade, so still involved in the performing arts, but that's been what I've done for the past over 15 years, so just dance focused. So I'm not, a stranger to the stage, but it's been, we're only a weekend, but it's been a totally fun, very different new experience. Different in, performing still, dance, even though it still has an aspect of, performance in that way, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I grew up as a competitive dancer, so I know how much they both intersect and how they all just work together in so many different ways, but also how even just knowing your sense of self through your body is able to help you figure out characterization and different body languages and things like that. And I want to talk about how you're able to do that with this show specifically. We're going to call it With the Hat because, you know.
Right.
Can't say that on air, but I want to talk a little bit more about the nitty gritty of what the show is about and then also your two characters. So for someone who's never heard of With the Hat, can you kind of explain what the show is about? Without giving too much away, of course.
Sure. And maybe Bianca, jump in if anything feels inaccurate, but it really feels like a lot of just messy adults. A lot of messy adults in these sort of convoluted relationships. I think we see more of the uglier side of people really come out in this show. It feels like every character has reached some kind of breaking point, and the things people do when they feel betrayed, the things people do for the people that they love, we're on very extreme ends of, I would say, human behavior and human psyche in this show.
I would agree with that, and I think you get an undertone in the show of desperation that you see, and each character's desperation is a little different, and I think that's what's so beautiful about it. I think the writing style is very raw, so you truly get to connect with each character. There's a lot of funny moments on top of it as well. I think it's more so a comedy even than it is a drama, which is saying something because the script lends itself to the actors to really branch out and express ourselves and find ourselves in the character. And I think that's one of the best parts about it. And what's so beautiful about theater is everybody can connect to a little piece of each character in the show.
Absolutely. And speaking of those characters, I would love to hear about the two characters you guys play. You play Victoria and Veronica, if I'm not mistaken. Walk us through just their personalities and how you kind of navigated bringing little pieces of yourself into those characters as well, while also making sure you're really paying homage to that character's identity as a whole and making sure that is also being translated to the audience.
I don't know. Veronica, honestly, and maybe I got an easy pass with this one. She feels like a very exaggerated version of myself.
Love that.
Ways, which, could sound bad to your average person, but I think she's a girl who's always had to fight. Clearly came from a Puerto Rican background, a Latina living in New York, and she's tough. She's tough, and it's evident in every relationship that she maneuvers within this play. But something that, my partner in the show says is, she's got a lot of heart. At the end of the day, she's got a pure heart, and I think I really related to that. Like this bravado, it's protection. This machismo that is usually associated with Latin men, like she really demonstrates that because it's the only way that she can protect herself. So yeah, I think she's a tough girl, but you see the cracks, you see the humanity in her, that she's not just the Tasmanian devil. She is a broken girl too. So yeah, I think a lot of audiences, a lot of girls who have to put on a brave face to get by will relate to her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think Victoria is a little different. I think she is at her breaking point in her relationship with her partner, and she goes from being very annoyed with them to very resigned throughout the show without giving too much away. And I think every person, I've been married for almost 10 years and with my partner for about 18 years. And I think you get to a point where you have to continuously talk. And if you have a lack of communication or your communication breaks down, it creates gaps in your relationship that sometimes are too hard to fill or too hard to overcome. And I think you really get to see that with this couple in this show, and how she navigates that and her power dynamic between her relationship, and you kind of watch her shift her power of giving it to her partner versus taking it for herself. So I think it's really beautiful, and you find your inner strength and your inner woman and in that. And I kind of love that.
I love that too.
Yeah.
And I think it's something that we definitely need, is to see women in these more powerful roles on the stage and getting that representation. But another piece of representation that is so important, especially for me as a Puerto Rican woman myself, is seeing those Latina characters on stage and being represented. So I know most of the cast, if not all of the cast, is Hispanic Latino. Am I correct? Or I know at least the characters in the play are based in that Puerto Rican heritage, if I'm not mistaken.
A good amount of them, yeah.
Yeah. So how has that been, kind of tapping into that and being able to bring that representation for people on the stage, especially here in Syracuse, where there is a big Hispanic and Latino population? What is it like kind of taking on the roles of those characters and bringing them to life through your own personal backgrounds and experiences?
I mean, as like a very white Latina, like
Same girl. I get it.
It's fun to like lean in, like to exist in a space with other Latinos, and like there's no calling people no sabo kids or whatever it may be. So it is fun to just exist and play with that. Even the way that the characters seem to like joke and riff off of each other, it feels more similar to what I've experienced at home. So I don't know, it felt very comfortable, felt natural to do not caricatures of Latin women, because I think we already understand that women are so multifaceted. They're not just, the virgin or the whatever. So it's exciting to then attach on top of it the Latina identity. So it's fun to play all those complexities in our female characters as well.
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense. I thought it was something that was so beautiful to walk in and see. It's a cast full of POC, which is really nice. And I'm not Latina. Wish I was. I love it. But my family's Guyanese, and we have a similar culture, and we have those similar dynamics that you do find in a lot of Latin households. We have in our own household, and so it's really nice to see the beauty that can coexist between the two, and it's not any type of competition. You don't really have to be so much aware of what's going on here because it comes very naturally, and everybody truly is just very patient and understanding and respectful of what's here. And like she said, it's not a caricature of somebody. You really do get an authentic presentation of what these characters should be and who they are.
That's really powerful. And I know it's a small cast. There's only 5 of you on stage, and just 5 people in the performance. How has that experience been, working with a cast in such a personal and intimate level, and then having to, again, making sure you're bringing these characters to life, knowing that there's not an ensemble behind you to kind of back you up or do these big flashy numbers that maybe we've seen in other productions that have been done at Red House as well. How has it been kind of navigating that and experiencing that as a performer overall?
And you can speak to a more varied experience, but as someone who this is sort of my first time, it's definitely more comfortable to play and share such intimate things that are happening on the stage. We just had our like intimacy scenes done, so I'm like, it's definitely better and more comfortable with someone that you see every day. It's just the two of us in a rehearsal for 2 hours, so I think it's much better to develop that rapport as opposed to with a giant ensemble. It's been easier for me to feel comfortable and ready to dive in, knowing that there's not 30 sets of eyes on me. I mean, before I get on stage, like, you know, so developing that dynamic first with a smaller cast has been really helpful, beneficial. For me.
I think Red House has a very quick schedule when they do their shows because you are working with a professional theater, and so to have a very small and intimate cast, it allows you more time to really get to know each other while you're learning the material. And then our brilliant director, Blondine Young, she took some time out this week to give us a chance to really interact with each other outside of the material, which allows you to form bonds and allows you to have a better communication that can now lend a hand in your performance. And I think that's really important to create those personal relationships outside of the text and outside of our rehearsal space so that you do get a sense of family and love that is authentic to us, and then it can be pushed out towards the audience so that they see it and they understand it and they enjoy it. I think you get to be a part of a family that you wouldn't necessarily be with beforehand and leave with.
Yeah, absolutely. And on social media, when looking at all of the posters and promo materials, there was a line that described the show that I absolutely loved. And it says, "Passion is messy, love is complicated, trust is fragile." And I think that really is such a mind, like, I'm like, wait, what does that even mean? Like, it's so intriguing as someone from the outside looking in. When you hear that phrase, what does that mean for you from the perspective of each of your characters, and how have you kind of been exploring those deeper themes throughout this production?
I think, especially for the trust part, I think my character has a lot of issues with trust, and you'll see that play out. And like you said, trust is very fragile, and once it's broken, it really can't be put together. And for Victoria, you watch her give her trust multiple times, and then she has nothing left to give. And so you see how she comes to that decision and what her actions going from that would be. And I think even as an everyday person, your trust is freely given to begin with. And when you lose it, you can't take it back. It's very, very, very hard to take it back. Yeah. No matter how much you can forgive somebody, it's already done.
Yeah, right. Like, there's this idea of like trust within the play and within my character. Like, I feel like there are moments, I don't want to give too much away, where me and my partner have, you know, issues with trust, but like we're more willing to like let things go. And so you see how trust looks differently between different couples, and that reflects real life too. Like, maybe what you let your man get away with, that would not happen in my house. Something like that. It feels like it really does show, once you get to the ins and ends of people's relationships, like, there's history. History is ugly. It can be messy. And so one thing I love about this script is there's no filler. Yeah. Everything is intentional. Everything serves a purpose. And the deeper you dive into the script, the more you're like, well, why did they? And then you think about it, and it does feel too, like, so authentic. He really, like, you know, hones in on, like I was saying earlier, that human psyche and why we say things, or maybe why did you make that choice. But yeah, I like how he does it so concisely, and that's why I feel like this show's gonna be like a short, sweet punch in the face kind of.
Yeah, you know, like, no, it really is, and it's not just relationship, or romantic relationships. You get a lot of family relationship, friendships that go through the same process, which is nice to see as well. So it's not just one perspective.
Is there anything when you were kind of looking into this production, being like, oh, auditioning and kind of like figuring out if this was something you wanted to do, what was the main thing that really drew you into doing this production and working with Red House, if there was anything specifically that kind of drew you in?
The title.
It's
The
like
title
so
of itself
random.
It's random, but it's so prevalent for the show and
love that.
everything it represents. But just seeing the title of itself, it was very interesting to me, and it was something that's so outside of my box and comfort zone. I'm more so a musical theater type of girl, and so to do a play and then to do this specific play, I think really broadens your horizons and what you can expect of yourself. And so I've really loved that. But that was the biggest thing. It was genuinely the title of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was my first year auditioning for Red House. You know, as a dancer, I was expecting to just maybe do a musical. I mean, if I was lucky enough to get cast at all. And then I get a email at work saying, you know, I have a callback for MF in a Hat. And I'm like, what? Like, shit, yeah, why not? Like, and so, again, shout out to Blondine for taking this chance on what I think, you know, I'm not a known name in Syracuse theater whatsoever, so shout out to her. But, yeah, I think I didn't know much about the play. I didn't know much about either of the plays that were being done at Red House. I was like, oh, yeah, Guys and Dolls and Jagged Little Pill. Like, I love Alanis Morissette. So I think that's where my head was at, so I was totally blindsided, but totally blessed, because this is a bomb. I'm trying to keep everything.
Yes, it's a wonderful show.
It's a bomb script, show. The cast feels so, I don't know, she really did that.
The cast is phenomenal.
Yeah, the cast is great.
We had rehearsal this morning, and I spent majority of it giggling on the floor because it's so good. Yeah. It's genuinely so good.
We talk about how serious it is, but like you said, it is a comedy. It's very much a dramedy. And there's some people in the show that are just doing some really funky stuff.
Yeah.
It's funny.
They have great comedic timing, and I think that's everything with a show, that you can give the drama, but when the comedic timing works, it's just a beautiful show in its entirety.
I absolutely love that. I know I am so excited to see this production live, and it's happening over like the Valentine's Day weekend, which I feel like is so perfect for like a little date night.
Yes.
Maybe, you know, just bring a friend if you don't have a romantic partner like I do. Like I'll go on even a solo date by myself to go see this, celebrate Valentine's Day. But you guys talked so much just about the emotional intimacies and just like how much there really is about this show behind just what you could seem like a crazy name. There's so much behind it. But overall, as a whole, why do you think people should take time out of their Valentine's Day weekend to come out and see this show and to support Red House as a whole? I mean, supporting theater in general we need it more than ever right now, supporting the arts. And it also really does start at the local level. And there's so many opportunities to experience theater at all levels here in Syracuse. But why do you think people should come out and support Red House for this production?
I think this show is something truly spectacular and magical. Our fellow castmates in it are just so talented, and it's such a unique type of writing. It's very, I don't want to say vulgar, but it's very current with its language, and I think especially for younger generations and older generations, you can all relate. It's not so far out of one wheelhouse and into the next. I think they were casted wonderfully. I think everybody fits their roles so well. And when those types of things click, it genuinely makes time go by very quickly. But you enjoy, you're enthralled, you're at the edge of your seat watching. And it's, from what I've heard, in a more intimate setting. So you really do feel like you're being immersed into this world. Even if it's for an hour, you really get to take the chance and experience something new, where I know a lot of people will come out for Red House and they do a lot of like golden age musicals, which I absolutely adore, but I think this is the opposite side of that, and it's worth it just as much to come and see. It's worth your time. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece of writing.
Yeah. I mean, I'll take any excuse not to watch the news right now.
Me too.
So come out and see
Me
the show
too.
with your honey, or by yourself. Like, every scene feels whoa. You know, there's a moment of oh my god, every scene. So, you know, even if it's an hour out of your day, to come out and support artists of color, support a show
Absolutely.
that's celebrating. I was gonna say Latino love, but I was like Latino messiness, Latino love, like
Just support it all. Just support it all.
all the wind are in there. So it's gonna be a beautiful show, I think, for people to celebrate Valentine's Day weekend, and if not anything else, to be like, hey, at least we don't at least we don't act like that, you know?
Yeah, true.
So, but yeah, I don't think you're gonna see anything like this on a stage around here for
Quite some time.
quite some time. If not, this is already something that feels really fresh, interesting, unexpected.
Yeah.
Other synonyms. Like, just, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun, I think, for everybody.
Awesome. Andrea and Bianca, thank you so much for joining us here at Z89. Like we said, With the Hat will be taking place from February 11th through February 15th, and tickets can be found on the official Red House Arts Center website. Thank you guys again for joining us.
Thank you so much for having us.